entertainmentbuddha.com.
We have a smart glass device hooked up as well. A lot of features packed into this as well, so I'll kind of bounce back and forth as it goes. You know what, guys? There'll probably be not a lot of time at the back of this to ask a lot of questions, so hit us up as we go. Feel free. All right. So timeline-wise, this takes place 10 years after Dead Rising 2 in the lore, and that's off of Dead Rising 2 proper, ending S. Depends on how hardcore we worked. We created Dead Rising 2. We worked with our team to do that, so we're very familiar with the lore. We start off here 3 days post-outbreak in the fictional city of Los Perdidos, California. It's kind of like fashioned after an LA SoCal vibe. This is Nick Ramos. He's a mechanic, or used to be before the outbreak, and now he's just trying to survive. We're going to actually just walk through and head towards Ingleton, but we're just starting out here just by this diner. Just kind of go through this scavenging side of the game. Anything and everything's still a weapon. It's a hallmark of this series. We're still carrying that, and some stuff is completely pointless, and some stuff is purposeful, of course.
Where did they all come from?
Zombies, we put more effort into Horde AI and how they see and hear and then yell and tell other zombies, and you'll get this crowding a lot more happening, and you can manipulate that.
Man, you can do this.
A lot of location-based damage work that we put in, like the amount of detail we can put in now when you slice zombies, you'll see like ribs and guts, like it's all actually all articulated in there. That was a banana split, going on vertical one, love that one. It's just over-the-top stuff. We actually think it's really funny, actually. And then scattered through the world are blueprints. And blueprints guide you towards the items you need to put together to create combo weapons. We see, surviving in the outbreak, do what you want, make crazy weapons if you want. In this case, we just made the sledge saw, those two items we found. He's getting experience points off kills, and those experience points obviously go to leveling. We call it prestige points. That's our PP little number coming out there. The flaming zombie, just dynamic world. You just walk through fire. Another banana split. Yeah, we can throw stuff from the hip now. We just love doing that all the time. You see a lot of from the hip throwing. Bigger world, and now vehicles are in it. A lot more so. That's Nick actually reacting to instances. He's just aware. So he has a whole bunch of things he's aware of, and he just says it. The physics in the game, all the zombies have mass. They actually deflect the steering. Not only does he just pull them right out. It's a demo, unintentional. Let's get back in. They actually deflect the steering, and when they hang off, they actually change the center of gravity, and they actually have the gameplay is actually swerving or scraping them off, like off your shoe almost. So you're just kind of gonna punch them, right? so Mike's from Texas, so he tends to do these.
Trying to impress y'all.
Yeah, he's trying to be impressive. That we have a partially leveled Nick here for the demo, so that was actually some of his melee class sort of up to bit, so you can start pulling off some of those finishing moves. So we're just gonna climb up here and kind of give a bit more of a lay of the land. So we have a really packed, detailed world, the same sort of like level of interactivity we've always had in Dead Rising. We've handcrafted a world that actually fits Dead Rising 1 and Dead Rising 2 into it, and there's still more room. And it's all handcrafted, there's landmarks and everything. You'll start learning this world, and that's always been important to us, right? When we started playing Dead Rising 1 and loved that mall and started figuring out the mall, Dead Rising 2, same purposefully built world, and this is where we've gone further. And all these stories and things you can climb into, bust into dudes' houses and kind of find stuff to pick up. So right now we're just double back into this safe house that Nick's using, sort of, that we've already been to before, and we're just picking up some items, finding some more blueprints. So we're going to make a little mission here of just sandboxing. So we got this blueprint for a boom cannon, a little bit ridiculous, but it's boom cannon, and put a grenade and a shotgun together to do it. So we're going to go over to Smart Class, and let's find a store. So I'll use that app, And there's I just wanted to test it. There's a whole bunch of features in the gun store. I know there's a gun store over there because I played this so much today. I'm going to tag it, and there we go. You can find a gun store, and it drops a waypoint in the world, and then the map runs. And if you want to, you can use it as a companion map, or you can use the map in the game. You can use it to find proximity items, like if you want food. Where's food right now? Just choose find food, and it'll just do waypointing around you. That's the home screen for the Smart Glass app. It actually makes your phone into a phone. Wow. That was the high-level crazy idea we had. So that's just manipulating the zombies. We've done that before. We've gone a lot further with how it propagates through the horde. You can use Connect and just yell out, and that they hear it. You can yell out anything they hear, and that can then confuse them, and you can do a ring around the rosy with them.
It's a good example of some custom content that's in interiors. You'll see the actual barbers, shop chairs. We try to get that same level of detail through the whole world, so that it's not just cookie cutter interiors that we've placed around, that everything will be handcrafted.
So we're going to head down to that gun store. Those guys are still kind of confused. So that zombie, when he started making that sound, that's him saying, "I see you." And that actually creates a game event of telling other zombies, and they all start gathering. Everyday walks of life zombies, these guys are firefighters, so we figured they'd be tougher. Kind of doing like muscle memory swing of their axe still. And they're tougher to burn alive because I assume they have fire retardant suits on, so that's kind of stuff that we kind of rip off of. We keep it grounded in reality as much as we can, as real as a zombie reality as we can go, but we have obviously a character reality, right? Because we go really over the top with the crafting. Low on health. Let's load up on a beer and a hot dog off a shelf. That's yummy. I love shelf dogs. You can put on clothing. It's up to you. Different outfits everywhere, and you can customize tops, bottoms, heads now. That's all separated out. Love Breaking Bad, so we just put this here. Thought we'd cook some meth together. Zombie chomping down on someone who died. He's got a powered up melee, that's why he was just killing with that throw. So we have logical combo weapons that kind of make sense, and then we have completely illogical. And we run the whole gamut with hundreds and hundreds of weapons now. Just incredible amount of variety. Just want you guys to hear it. We put more effort into trying to change up the pace of the game too, finding areas that are a little darker and scarier. Cinder block. Anything. Just get out of there. Cool. Like we put more effort into gun play because we found it was reasonably inferior to melee play in Dead Rising 2. We want to balance them out more because we really want you to play how you want, right? If you want to play with guns, they're there. It's fun. If you want to play with melee, we've actually gone a bit further. We actually have light and heavy attacks exposed as face buttons now. You can switch between those light and heavies now for melee combat, as well as like ground stomps.
What the?
They're all starting to make sounds.
See it in the animations, he reacts to the world around him as well, so it's obviously a swing for them. They'll actively try to get out of the way. And the same applies to explosions and things like that go off in the world, then there's support that as well.
Making it a bit tougher to get through. That'd be cool to just rip through a cemetery with a hearse. Just seems poignant. Feels very classic horror. Drop that guy in. Walk slow to the camera. Oh, too bad, too close. We like doing that walk slow to the camera so we bad boys it. Yeah. Really big on driving and being able to, break things and not getting stopped on like weird static, collision. So we put a lot more smackables in there. You saw in the stage demo just busting through fences, and we go further, like going through houses and trying to really go as far as you can. You can still hack zombies. I love I love when we hack them or skewer them. Just kind of messing around. So there's the waypoint for the gun store that we dropped off from the smart glass store. Almost there. Bust the glass. So that isn't just for audio fun. That's actually creating an event in the game right now. That's a store alarm, so that's going to start attracting zombies. They'll start coming in, start lighting them up. Notice there's a kill counter. That's what that number is. It's appearing on the left. We reward you for combo killing, essentially stacking multipliers. Then you can pull off finishing moves, like that wide beam just came up. Oh, do a body suplex with burning zombie. Oh, watch out. You're getting low on health. So Nick was aware he was getting low on health, so he just started killing. Yeah. Oh, that's the cuts. Disembowel. We love Disembowel from Dead Rising 1, so I'm going to go further for it.
See some of the familiar branding from the Dead Rising series. We try to keep that in there.
Roy's Mart
on the left.
Hamburger Fiefdom. Colombian Roastmasters. Not named after me, but Josh's Jewels from Dead Rising 1. We had in Dead Rising 2, it's back, of course. There's Hamburger Fiefdom over there. Oh, what crazy detail. The glass is physics-based, so it actually shot out in the velocity in the direction of the gun. So any of the impulses on it actually are that articulated.
So if you punch through the glass, it'll drop the window, shoot through the glass.
It's okay if we go a bit longer, guys? Let's ignore the voice.
Thank you for coming.
Wrenchorama is where Nick used to work before the outbreak. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see what we did over at our booth at Capcom End. We built Wrenchorama. It's awesome. Love it. Lots of different vehicles, motorbikes, sports cars, even construction vehicles of all sizes. Do you think the forklift's drivable?
Yes.
Good, because it is. We were asked that today, and I remember Halo, so yes, of course you can drive a forklift.
Can you drive it well?
No. Okay. So he picked up a blueprint for a flaming sword. Let's go back to our Nick clothes. Where's your blueprint? The map. Flaming sword. So broadsword and motor oil. So we got the motor oil. Let's go get a broadsword and let's make this.
Yeah.
Alan likes his default clothes, but
So passionate about the branding. The combo weapons they play into the branding as well. You'll see that he's got the same colour of red across some of the combo weapons in the game. The same gorilla type shoes. So we've got that language and it's very recognisable. Excellent looks, uniform with that stuff when he's wearing his default outfit. So I love his default outfit.
that's a lot of zombies to just run through even with a gun. We're not very leveled up either. So we're gonna dense world. There's always alternate paths and climbing and finding other ways. So we're just gonna head over this way. We're gonna head up to another safe house actually. Some bugs. We'll fix those.
Savage.
Savage beast. These little markings indicate safe house locations. They're all over the world. Big world. We've actually just come down through just a split of it. And then when you look out around the surrounding regions, just over on the right, let's say there's a bridge over there. You can drive all that and head over to the hills. That's Sunset Hills. It's like more like a Beverly Hills caricature. We have like a downtown core. You know, it has a bit of Venice Beach actually boardwalk in there as well.
The dimension are awesome sky.
Yeah.
Fully dynamic normal maps for clouds and a full time of day system, and I think that sky is really nice.
And nighttime zombies are deadly as fuck. It's awesome. I'm gonna go into the safe house. In the interest of time, and that he had an LMG on hand. He's gonna light these guys up. Done. Oh. There we go. That should have cleared it. So, remember we talked about the weapon lockers? Create a combo weapon or find an item. They're in the weapon lockers. We also have clothing. So ultimately, you can find everything in the world, and they'll all be here.
Okay.
right? You can gather it all up. And so something we did, I want to always intentional. Yeah. Something we did intentionally is when we came out of Dead Rising 2, and we kind of felt like we were hitting the apex of trying to be funny first, and the zombies were losing credibility to even be a threat. Like we were talking about, they were really this toy, right? And then we're kind of finding it's like, you know what? We're making a zombie game. It feels like it should be about the zombies, right? That should be the thing you're thinking about the most. So we actually invested in their, the horde, the amount of them, and their AI, and then we actually, in working with Al, invested in the look to say horror is the upfront coat, and then comedy is there, and for you to photobomb the game, and to make sure that juxtaposition was even more ridiculous. So it kind of felt like a funny, cartoony-looking game, and you're going to be funny in it. It's like, yeah, I guess so. I guess that's your thing, right? All your clothing carries into cinematics still. So I hope that really now it looks really serious, and it's almost like we told the actors this is a serious game. We gave them a ridiculous script, and we got them to read it serious, right? So the hope is it's so over the top they think it's serious. It's almost absurd. The situations are absurd. We took inspiration from classic horror, like Chucky, all those movies from the 80s where I think they were serious back then, but they're absurd now. And that's how we tried to do this game. You'll hear a lot of Carpenter-inspired synth in this game, over the top. I can hear that right now. And then we figured, well, you know what? Let's let players go nuts with all the customization in that to just add that contrast. When we launched on stage, we want to make sure we were horror first, and we want to make sure you guys coming out of this can see that the comedy is there, and it's for you to make fun of the game now.
Hope you can appreciate how comfortable that shark outfit looks.
That's next-gen felt.
I've been checking out the monitors here, and it looks like we've got a live one. Dude might need a hand. I'll send you the location.
So that's the smart glass guy talking to you. So when we decided piping through the TV, when you get this device hooked up, I want to talk about it real quick, it actually has its own character. That guy, it only can get his missions on this device, right? And we built it, and the original pitch was your cell phone's a cell phone. So I really like the idea of getting calls, like, it's like Dead Rising 1 and 2 at the transceiver. Here it is, right? We've given you the transceiver, and it looks like, somewhat updated. Of course, it's like the most high-end looking 1990s transceiver. And you get these calls, and you hear this voice, and you get these missions, and they're unique to the smart glass if you have it on, right? You don't get those missions. You still can finish the game, and you'll get the story, and you can complete it if you don't enable it. But enable it, you get exclusive content, right? And you complete those missions, you can unlock parts of the world. You can actually get, if you've done pods, you can start unlocking apps and wallpaper and ringtones, right? And when you get calls and you missed it, well, there's call waiting. But you can always just press the call button to answer, or just to call him back to hear what he had to say, right? And then what his shtick is, he's just like an everyday Joe locked up in another part of the city, but he's somehow in this abandoned military sort of control center. And this is what this is, the ZDC phone that you picked up. And we actually introduced that, and then you hold it in your hand is the idea. And then in it, he's just sitting there, he's like, I think if I do this, I can get an airstrike your way. Right? If I do this, I think I can get you to drone support. We'll show some of that. So that's what we're doing. We just got a mission in, so we're just going to head over and do that side mission that just came up. Too many zombies, though. So we're going to boom cannon the FLE. This is called power leveling.
Quite effective.
Take that, firefighter. Zombie. So I think we're going to almost level up twofold here. So let's go spend an attribute point. So customized on how you want to level up. It's not automatic now. You can spend it the way you want. If you want to be a tank, you want to be quick, you want to have a lot of inventory, you can kind of balance it out or level yourself off. I tell you, when you get to level 50, it's insane. Over the top, man. We just try to go as ridiculous as possible, and I hope those are shareable moments when you start getting up into those ranges, because it's just crazy. At that point, we let the belt out, we got the moo on, just go nuts, man. We don't care, you're going to make the game look ridiculous. And it happens over time, right? And even as you play, you'll start making the game more and more ridiculous, because you're going to find more and more of these ways to make it look ridiculous. And it's almost like by the end of it, it's going to be absurd. And I hope that contrast is hilarious. And it's up to you. So what I want to talk about is we flip over to a blueprint. Let's go down whichever one. Let's say the flaming sword. So there's the specific items, and you can combine those anywhere, of course. But you know what? You're not limited to just those. If you actually unlock the categories that these items are from. So let's say you need a broadsword, but if you purchase this category over in your attributes, then you can use any bladed item, right? Like a chef's knife, a butter knife, right? And no, the model doesn't change, but we want to make sure it's about flexibility. We tried to figure out the accuracy of the end result and the permutations of the hundreds matrix. It was like over 90,000 models, I think, just alone on one of the 2 category intersections. It was just like, okay, we can't do this. It ain't happening. So let's make it easier for ourselves, because I don't think we have a broadsword, but let's just go purchase the bladed category. And then there you go, purchase. Now it unlocks. You can see it affects multiple combo weapons. And now we can make that flaming sword now with a machete instead of a broadsword.
Notice how it's branded next.
You're running around with a boom cannon from the hip, you're gonna blow yourself up. See, the zombies don't react to it as the same as regular zombies. Those firing guys. And so there's different types of those guys interspersed with the horde now. You've got big fat prisoner guy. He's near a prison bus. He's pretty hard to take down. Yeah, the football zombie's awesome. He's just like, all he knows is this. Always trying to knock you down. Nick's getting impatient, it sounds like. So we're just going to head over to this mission.
Chinatown district, man.
Yeah, just within Ingleton. A lot of variety. We try to keep a lot of variety rotating around. We all have ADD. We're not really happy with anything until it changes again. There's Taylor. Looks like he's surrounded by a lot of zombs. That was the mission that he got from the smart class. So actually, I'm going to help him out. Another app. Let's call in some drones. I got those. Oh shit! That was an airstrike.
Let's do it.
Sorry, man.
Do it. Don't kill me.
Sorry, I actually didn't mean to do that.
Taylor's gonna get.
Yeah, I think I might kill you. Sorry about that. Jumping up and down. Yay! Sorry about that. I actually didn't mean to do that. There's a bit of a bug on that guy, but we're still working on that. Any questions, guys?
You said day-night cycle. Is there going to be like a time constraint like there has been in the previous games?
Yeah, so what we did is we kind of had a 50-50 split in the office, and 50-50 split I was kind of getting from we were on the road with Dead Rising 2 and just, following with a lot of folks and forum reading. And so what we did is we have 2 modes in the game. Both of them use the same storyline missions. But mode 1, let's say it's like the most accessible mode, normal mode we'll call it. Saving is automatic. It's background saving. There's no multiple save slots or anything like that. And you won't run out of time. You can just take your time. There's a lot more content too, and it's worth it. Versus if we took the time limit off of Dead Rising 2, it kind of would have felt like, oh, there's nothing, right? So we packed it full. You can take your time, really explore, and just really be a completionist if you want. And of course, there's multiple endings in both cases, right? With the second mode, which we call Nightmare mode, takes it back to, I would say, Dead Rising 1, where time is going, right, on the cycle. You're going to run out of time if you don't keep up, just like how Dead Rising has always functioned. And yeah, the truth can vanish. You can still sandbox and continue and then hit that ending if you want. So all that's still there. But saving is in washrooms only. And there's only one save file. So,
Truly a nightmare.
Truly a nightmare. So, the way I look at it is like, if you're a really hardcore fan of the series, and I hope you guys are, I challenge you to go through Nightmare to start and complete it. And there will be a reward for that, because we'll know. We'll be tracking that through our achievements, right? But I can see first-time players, they may be new to the series. I can see it as a great new game plus. You're going to come out not fully topped out on your level, maybe not have hit all the side content then, right? And then you hit new game plus, and then now you can really hit that level 50 cap. And level 50 across all the tribs will be insane, for sure.
Great. What approach are you guys taking to the other survivors that Mick runs into in the world? Is it the same,
Nah.
carried forward?
We don't like babysitting, so it's not escorts really anymore. I mean, there's a whole bunch of humans in the city as well. You know, they're just trying to survive. They're side missions, right? They're ways to get experience points. You can or cannot help them. They will die, right? So it's a time pressure element to them if they're just hanging around. So there is still that pressure even in either mode. But the difference is they don't need to be taken to a safe house per se. They're actually, if you help them out, then you'll kind of earn their respect, and then they'll follow you, right? And then you can get a posse of guys willing to fight to the death with you to escape the city, and then you can command them. There's more commands, and actually we did an extension to the commands. We're using Connect 2 for them. If you want to, it's just if you want. If you hold your finger up, this thing is so incredibly accurate. You can hold your finger up, and then it draws a 3D cursor, and you just go attack with a keyword of attack, and they actually go run there and attack. So it actually is really seamlessly woven in. If you guys remember, it was like aim mode Y, right? So there's multiple commands now, not just one. So we needed that. I think it helped us out. The other thing that we're doing with survivors is like you could choose who you want in your posse. There's an attribute to level up that you got more smarts, so they'll trust you more, so you can get a bigger posse. It ends up being its little mini RTS, right, as opposed to just babysitting guys. And I don't know. I used to play Dead Rising 1, and I would try not to save them, right? Tell them to wait outside the safe house as a way to play that game. So we're like, why are we fucking doing this, man? Because I mean, oh shit, I went in the safe house. I forgot to tell them to wait, and I just rescued them. I didn't want to rescue those fuckers. So now you're not rescuing them per se.
Are like other survivors still major boss encounters?
Yeah, I mean, our social commentary about this thick is, zombies are the symptom of the monster, which is humanity. So you're still going to come across crazed dudes that have gone psycho, if you will. And believe me, we are trying to top ourselves all the time with what that means into areas that we got in trouble. And we had to... Yes. Yes.
And it's a mature title.
It's a mature rated title. So we were crossing some lines there. But yes, absolutely, humans are a big part of this as well. Not just from a companion, but from a combatant as well.
entertainmentbuddha.com